Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again due to lack of popular demand for your weekly dose of all things gaming.
Yeah.
And this week's a bit of a news topic for you, Andy. I want to talk about all the hardware leaks that have happened all at once.
It has happened all at once, hasn't it?
We've got leaks about the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, yeah.
The PS5 Pro and the Project Q. Q.
I was just about to say, you mean the poo, but you've got there before me.
Almost like we're the same bloody person.
So yeah, there's been a lot. There's just dropped like immediately.
Yeah.
And one thing I just want to like put it in there, like this was like a little bit like we hadn't discussed this previously.
Okay.
But you never really see many leaks about Xbox, do you?
It's because nobody cares.
Like, but there's no one like saying any like leaked handheld. I mean, the more I say it, maybe it will like make them want to make a handheld. But you know, but there never seems to be.
I think Microsoft's approach to the future of gaming is if we just buy all the IP, then it doesn't matter what anyone else does.
That's why there's no leaks because they're still trying to buy everything.
They're just trying to buy every big game.
Yes, that makes sense.
And so I want to like talk through. Take our listeners and viewers through what some of these leaks are, but also, more importantly, kind of shine a light on how likely this stuff is actually to happen.
Yeah.
Or is it just like hot air news articles?
And just our opinions on it as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, be it true or not, we've got some opinions.
I want to start with a hot potato, and that is the Project Q.
Yeah, okay.
Which is quickly ramping up to be my most disappointing release of all time.
I know. And as we discussed in our previous whole episode on it when it was first sort of announced, we're a bit bitter about it because we wanted it to be something more, and it is more and more like looking that it's going to be a lot less.
Yeah, our fears are really becoming realised with it, and that's really disappointing. From when it was first rumoured that they were doing a new handheld, when we were fantasising about this could really be the Vita 2.
Yes.
And how epic that would be, and the back catalogue, backwards compatibility, and
streaming services,
streaming your PS5 games, how epic this would be.
Yeah.
And what it's actually turning into is basically an Android phone.
Yeah. Basically every other cloud thing that's already out.
But not a cloud thing.
No. Yeah, but not a cloud thing.
Not a cloud thing.
Yeah.
So the latest leaks are, firstly, there's been images of it shared. Actually in the wild.
Yeah. Someone's got one in their hands.
Some video footage of it being used as well. And from that, you can see that it's running an Android operating system. Which isn't that much of a surprise, really, when you boil down. Obviously, there's going to be a Sony PlayStation OS.
Yeah, that's going to be like booted at launch.
Yeah,
totally.
So it's not going to look like an Android phone. But
no.
It's not that much of a surprise, really. We've seen that it's potentially going to be priced at $199,
which is
not £1.99, because I'll just go and buy loads of them.
That's what they will go on sale for.
Yes,
when it gets discounted,
second hand.
Yeah,
$199 or pounds, and it is supposed to be remote play over Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Before I go on, how does that just make you feel?
It just makes me sad.
There's been so much leaks around these facts that it feels almost too legitimate to not be true.
Yeah. But it just seems so stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like they've really missed the mark with that, and it just it frustrates me so much.
The obvious mark that they've missed, that there might be readdressed, and I'll touch on this in a minute.
Yeah.
Is that if it is an Android operating system,
yep,
you can currently stream.
Yeah.
Right. So why can't they just introduce that on the Q, Project Q?
Yeah.
You can stream PlayStation games off the PlayStation Network server, if you remember, from your Steam Deck.
Yeah.
From your ROG Ally.
From your Android phone with a backbone controller.
Exactly.
Licensed product from Sony.
So it already exists with the same architecture that they're potentially going to be using here.
Yeah.
So why is that not an option here?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, There's something that you haven't brought up yet.
Well, there's talk that they are testing, they're currently beta testing streaming onto the Project Q from the PlayStation Network. Yeah. Which would just make loads of sense.
Yeah, that would make so much sense. And how I was seeing this is when we look back at the actual announcement of the Project Q, not what our hopes and dreams were, which were crushed, But the announcement, they kind of just focused on the fact that, you need a PS5. Yeah, that needs to be on the internet. Yeah, that needs to be running the game. Yeah. And then you stream that over Wi-Fi. And that's all they said. And then they said more to be revealed in November or whenever it was, right? Then that got me thinking, maybe they lent on that with the fact of, okay, you're not forced into buying like their PlayStation Plus level that lets you stream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, okay, you've got your PlayStation 5 and you've got your games. You don't need to buy anything else other than the Project Q itself, but you don't need to pay. Do you know what I mean? Any games you've already bought and have the hardware for, you can just stream that yourself.
So you think it might be a slight PR exercise to stop any backlash?
Yes, to say like, because otherwise if they just went, this is a streaming service only, like you need to be subscribed to our monthly thing, people will be like, hang on, I've got a PS5 and my games already.
Yeah.
Why do I need to pay more money to then access these elsewhere? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you.
So I feel like they lent on the fact that it was streaming only from your own PS5 as a way of like stopping backlash. I'm not justifying it. Yeah. I'm just trying to see it through their eyes.
Yep.
As much as, if that's the case, then that makes it a bit more viable to me. If you've got the option of playing your own games at no extra cost, so you buy the hardware, yes, you're going to pay $200, 200 quid. If it's $200, by the way, that means it's to be 250, 300 pounds because we always pay way more.
Yeah.
But regardless, you've got to buy the thing. If that means you can play your own games that you already have on your own PS5 with no extra cost, that's great. But then if you happen to subscribe to their PlayStation Plus now, later, whatever it's called, then
changes the name.
Yeah. And then you can access streaming those, then like, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, then that's up to more people.
You've kind of answered what my question was going to be to you, is that if it is a streaming piece of hardware as well as remote play, like it kind of should be.
Yeah, it has to be, sure.
Does the £200 price point now make sense to you? Would you consider buying one if that was the case?
I mean, just because it's a handheld, I would consider buying one anyway. Because I've pretty much had / or played every handheld out there, pretty much, other than all the weird like PC things. But I love handhelds and I would love to have one of these, but it needs to be like a justifiable reason to get one.
Yeah.
And if this is the case, then it makes it more understanding as an impulse buy.
if it doesn't have it, what is the reason to buy it? Because if I want to play PlayStation games on the go and this can't stream, then my obvious options are like the Steam Deck, which is a more complete console kind of than this Project Q will be, or the ROG Ally or something. Because I get this amazing hardware, additional games, and the PlayStation library.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you think of the ROG, at the minute, we've only got the, the Z1 Extreme processor version. So that's like nearly £800, I think. Granted, Steam Deck, base level, 350 quid. I think it is.
That's where my head's at.
That's getting closer to the mark there. That makes more sense.
If it is £250, let's say, we're talking about £100 difference. Yeah. And I can play it outside of the house.
Yeah.
If it is just limited to remote play over the Wi-Fi network.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's so stupid.
But even if it is remote play only, right, from your PlayStation 5, surely you can access that on any network that you're attached to, because that's currently what happens. That you can do that with your remote play on my Android phone now. If I had a controller or the backbone, I can still actually boot the game on my PlayStation 5, making sure that the PlayStation 5 is in rest mode at least. Yeah. I can then tell the PlayStation to turn on and run my game. Yeah, and the disc's in it, or you've had it downloaded. Yeah. But for us, it sucks because we have physical media. Yeah. So that's never thought about that. Yeah. You can't change your game. No. It has to be a downloaded game. Yeah. What? So basically what you're saying is you need someone at home. You need to pay someone to sit at home.
Phone them up.
To swap discs for you. Just imagine playing like Final Fantasy back in the old days where you had multiple discs.
Insert disc 2.
Yeah. Oh, damn it! Yeah, exactly. But, like it doesn't make sense to me that you wouldn't be able to do that because you can do that right now.
Yes.
So surely that must still be a thing.
We're saying all this, but it feels like PlayStation's going the way of Apple in like really bizarre,
like odd decisions.
Odd decisions based on ecosystem, and that they think people are going to buy these things because of the PlayStation logo on them.
But I get that because there is some serious, like we are very
agnostic.
Yes. Whereas some people are not. They are absolute die-hard fanatics for whatever that be, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I've always loved them all. You can have as many kids as you like. They're all fun. But some people are like, no, PlayStation only. And that's all they'll do. Even if they can stream it on their phone. And it's like, well, it's not a PlayStation phone.
Yeah.
Some people are like that. Or they might think, no, that's too technical. I just want to press on and it work, which is what this is going to be. Even if it's running Android, it will be PlayStation. Like it'll probably be the same freaking app that's on my phone right now.
It will be that,
and that will just boot, and it will be so easy because little Johnny that's 5 years old can go, yeah, that one, and it will, and it will just load. Some people don't want to be taking apart Steam Decks and swapping controllers out and whatever.
Putting RGB back panels on their Steam Deck. I mean, who? And talking of weird Sony decisions, then I'm going to move the conversation along.
Before we move it, would you now be more? You've asked me, but I want to ask you.
I was trying to avoid that.
If it is both, so you can stream your own or you can stream from the cloud, is that more viable for yourself?
100%.
Yeah, I think so.
100%. Because I've got a problem with gaming. No, I've got a problem with. I'm here, at the studio a lot.
Yeah,
but my PS5's at home.
Yep.
And really, there's times where I want to play PS5 here, and there's times where I want to play at home. And I keep going, oh, maybe I should bring it here. But if that was the case, then I could bring my PS5 here and still play at home.
Absolutely. And I actually I know it looks stupid, but I like how big that screen is.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks cool. 1080p 60 streaming.
There's definitely good bits about it. I'm not just not just bashing it for no reason.
Oh, no, me either. Yeah, no. I really don't like streaming unless you've got an insane internet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But this is looking more viable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So, on to the PS5 Pro.
Oh!
Now, there's rumours circulating now that the PS5 Pro will be released at the end of 2024.
Oh, is that what I forgot to even ask you earlier?
November 2024.
When it was meant to be announced by. Okay, so we've got.
So we're going to see the Project Q this November.
Yes, and then a year later.
A year later, the PS5 Pro. There's very little word on what the specs are from this. Okay. But the news is that it's going to offer improved performance for 4K 60 gaming, optional 8K, and dynamic ray tracing modes. So improved ray tracing.
So you mean everything that the PS5 promised? Like the base model, yeah?
Yes. So basically what it says on the PS5 box, they're going to put in the PS5 Pro.
In the new one, yeah. Which will say 12K gaming on.
Yes, it will do. Yeah. And there is confirmation that it will be more expensive.
Oh,
well, apparently, obviously, it will be more expensive, which I don't think is that obvious to me because we look back to the PS4.
We did, indeed, yeah.
We looked at this earlier. The PS4 Pro released for the same launch price as when the PS4 was launched. But at that time, the PS4 had already reduced in price.
Yeah, they dropped the price, and then the PS4 Pro came out at that same
retail price. It was $350,
which makes sense. Like, why? That makes sense to me. Keep it the same price point.
Because by November 2024, the PS5 will be 4 years old.
That is ridiculous.
That's right, isn't it? 4 years old.
Yeah. It came out in 2020, didn't it?
Yeah, 4 years old.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of over halfway through its life cycle. So it's due for a price drop by that point, which makes sense for a PS5 Pro to come along. My question is, with the lack of true, I was going to call them next generation, but current generation games, taking advantage of the true performance potential of the PS5, does a Pro even make sense?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like the PS4, like we just joked upon, the PS4 Pro is going to be what the PS5, no, sorry, the PS5 Pro is going to be what the PS5 should have been.
Yes.
Because
4K 60.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've always had a bit of a gripe that it said 8K on the box, and then you can't even play 4K 60 games on it.
What
Now,
8K games are there?
There's one singular game, and I can't even remember what it's called, but there was one the last time I checked. But the fact that all these modern games, you can't even play at 4K. Like, you can, but you're like 30 FPS.
Yes.
Which is fine, and I'm all for that because I'm a Switch gamer, you know, and I do have a ridiculously powered PC which I can play at 4K 60 if I want. But
it's fine, but only for certain games. Let's be fair.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If you were playing, if you're a Call of Duty player,
it needs to be at least 60.
If you're playing at 30 FPS, you're at such a disadvantage.
Can't do that. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is it annoys me that you have to purposefully go in and choose performance mode to then render the game out at like 1440p or whatever it is, and then upscale it with a FSR.
Yeah.
To then be able to even play at 4K 60.
And I know I've said in the past that like it really doesn't matter, and that most people's tellies are still 1080.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's not always going to be the case.
No.
If you go on to Amazon, I was going to say links below as a joke then. Go on to Amazon, links below. And look for, I'm going to do it anyway now. And look for cheap 4K panels, not OLED or anything, just cheap 4K panels, and you can get them for a couple £100 for a 50-inch 4K TV. Yep. And it will work really well. It looked great.
Before we were blessed with our Sony OLED, you know, we had an LG that cost 250 quid from Argos, and it was great. We were gaming on that, watching movies. That was our TV, you know. It just so happened that we won a Sony OLED.
So jammy.
But, you know, like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But those cheaper panels, okay, they're not OLED.
No.
But they'll still give you a 4K image that's half decent.
So by the time, let's say this PS5 Pro comes out, there's going to be a lot more people with 4K panels in their houses or gaming on them.
What are we talking now? What are we? Midway through 2023. So we've got a year and a quarter until this supposedly comes out, sorry. The thing is the price. So, like, you know, how much is a PS5 now?
£450.
£450. So I have no idea what that is in US. Sorry, $500, something
like that.
Yeah. So, and if they're saying this is going to get more expensive, what's that going to be? Another 150 quid?
So it can't go above 500.
Are we talking £600 here? $700? Because now,
and mind you, I said this about phones, and they couldn't go above 1,000, and they happily went above 1,000.
Yeah.
I look at the new Mac Studio that came out. The whole point of Mac Silicon was that it was cheaper. They're now $4,000.
Who said that?
I know. So all of my ideas on like price ceilings, I look at game titles, and they keep creeping up.
Yeah,
new releases. Look at like 75 now for a release.
What's 75?
I've seen it.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
So my thought initially is a console can't break the 500 ceiling.
Yeah, because otherwise you're in PC territory.
Because you're in PC territory. Exactly. Yeah. But Sony probably could.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the general cost of everything, at least here in the UK, being through the roof, they probably go, now we can raise the price.
Take advantage of it.
But like
so
we were saying,
£600?
And that's what I mean. If it went to 600 quid, that's ridiculous. Plus all their accessories, like we've said about before.
And is it going to be as big, or are they going to slim it down a little?
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, I feel like any rumours of a Slim and a Pro are the same thing.
Yes.
I feel like they're just going to make the Pro slimmer.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of making a PS5 slim to then inevitably bring a Pro out?
Unless, now this is you heard it here first rumour, unless they are different and they bring like a cupped price PS5 base model that's slim. And they've done that in the past.
That's true. Like the PS1.
Exactly.
You know, that's the one I had.
And the PS2 slim.
Yeah.
And they didn't do a Pro version of the PS2, but
no, but they did slim it down.
They did slim down.
And it was a lot smaller.
I've got one here. It's tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny. I remember when it came out and it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, and it was actually really cool.
I really like it.
That makes sense.
So they could, you could have like a base model that's say £300 and slim, and then a PS5 Pro.
I bet you that would be digital only, just to jump in.
Oh, What an easy way of making it slimmer. Get rid of the Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be digital only, slim, cheap.
Yeah.
They discontinue the normal models?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do the Fat Boy, the Pro at £12,000, 600 quid. I don't know. I would rather it be they reduce the price of the PS5 like they did with the PS4. So that now becomes cheaper. They released the Pro, which is also slimmer, at the price of the PS5.
So at that point, would you sell your PS5?
Probably not.
And get one?
No. But then probably not. Because I've had the PS5 how many years now? 3. Wow. It's mad.
Still feels brand new, doesn't it?
It still feels like I bought it yesterday. I still feel like I haven't got any games for it.
I barely got any games for it. I don't really think I've put that many hours on it.
No.
Probably put more hours watching Netflix on it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. We've played the PS5 more than we played the PS4.
Yeah, but you had the PS4 for like a week.
No, but I mean, well, yeah, the PS4 Pro we had. Yeah. We had for months, maybe a year. But yeah, didn't put that much time on it because we were too busy playing PC. Yeah. But I mean, we have been playing PS5 a lot. We've played through quite a lot of games, start to finish. And I mean, obviously with Diablo 4, we've been playing as much as we can time-wise. So we've been putting in a lot of hours. I just feel like we've been putting in a lot of hours of certain games, like long games rather than smashing through lots of little ones. But I love the PS5. I really enjoy it. But I don't know if I'd rush out to buy the Pro. If it's the same price as the base model PS5, I would consider selling the PS5 as soon as it's announced.
Yes.
And go 6 months without one. Yeah. Don't care. It's fine. Because that's what I did with the PS4 Pro.
Get a Project Q to stream on.
Yes.
Off the servers.
Yes. And then, because...
That's what I'd do.
But literally the day the PS5 was announced, however many months before it was released, the day it was announced, I packed up our PS4 Pro. Yeah. Took it down to game. Yeah. And traded it in.
I tell you what I'd actually do. I wouldn't get the Q.
Yeah.
The day it's announced, I'm going to pack up my PS5, sell it. I'm going to buy a PS4 Pro for 150 quid. Can you believe they're that cheap now?
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it?
That's a great console for 150 pounds.
Yeah, that's very cheap.
I'd buy that to tide me over because, let's face it, most of my games are PS4 games that get upgraded in the PS5 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah. For free. Yeah.
I'll play the PS4 for a while and then buy the PS5 Pro.
I would actually say you would benefit more from the Q.
Yeah, probably.
Legit. Just because you're flittering between studio and home and stuff. I'd say you'd probably get more hours played on the Q. If you were here and you had I've got an hour to chill or something before we do some more work or whatever, I can imagine you actually picking that up and playing it. Whereas sometimes, like we were saying before, it comes the evening, you're like, you know what, I can't be bothered to play something because I'm too tired or whatever. It
feels like more of an engagement, doesn't it? With the Q, it all depends on if it is stuck to the network.
Yes.
That's literally, for me, that's the yes or no. If it can play across networks, then yes.
I think it will.
If it can play off a server, then 100% yes.
I think they're going to make that happen.
If it's just remote play on the same Wi-Fi network, then 100% no.
I don't think they're going to do that because there's so many ways of not doing that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's so many ways. Your phone, which everyone has, you don't have to buy anything for. Yeah, okay, you need a controller, but you don't necessarily, or you might have an old one kicking around. As long as it's Bluetooth, who cares? You can do it that way. You've got these Logitech streaming cloud thing. Yeah. You've got the Steam Deck. You've got the ROG Ally and all that kind of stuff. There's so many ways of doing it. So it would be so stupid for them to kick themselves in the face, and not bring that
themselves in the face.
Yeah.
Face kick.
I can't remember what the...
Watch out, Sony, I'm going to face kick you. Why is he kicking himself in the face?
It's Bruce Lee-ing it up.
You mean shooting yourself in the foot?
Shooting yourself in the foot with the foot in the face, yeah. Kicking yourself in the face.
Kicking yourself in the face. It's my new favourite expression.
Christina always has a go at me. She was like, that's not the saying.
Yeah, it is now.
And I'm like, oh, I don't care. I say random stuff like that. I'll make something up based on what I believe was a saying.
If you're on YouTube and you've got this far with us, I want you to hashtag kick yourself in the face in the comments.
Well, let me know if you've ever kicked yourself in the face. But yeah, so with that, I don't know. if it was considerably better and the price allowed for it, you know, like if it was the price of the base PS5 now, I would consider selling the PS5, pre-ordering, you know, the PS5 Pro. But I'm okay with the PS5, even though I kind of grumble that you can't play native 4K games at 60, and I would like that. I don't know if I'd pay that much more for that experience.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue so far with the PS5 struggling. And I don't play like Call of Duty on the PlayStation.
No.
I've got PCs for that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I play more like casual RPGs, platformers, story-based stuff. Like, you know, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd bother with the PS5 Pro. But the Q, yeah, tempting.
Yeah. I'm going to pass the mantle over to you.
Oh yeah.
On this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
From the PlayStation camp to the Nintendo camp.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's been rumors, and there's actually been like a couple of leaks.
There has been a couple of leaks.
There was one a little while about. So we were talking about the Switch 2, right? So yeah. So there was one a little while ago about like some. I can't remember what it's called. I tried to find it online. I couldn't.
Do you know what?
find
The
it.
story's been buried because I couldn't find it either.
Exactly.
But it was a chassis manufacturer.
It was, and they made cases or whatever for iPhones as well under a different company name, but it's like the same branch of company, like a sister company or something. And supposedly they came out with a projection that by the end of the year, their profits are going to go up considerably because the Switch 2 is going to be dropping and they're already producing like cases for it.
Yes.
So that was the first rumor. The next one has been that fake one that's been going around on Twitter recently, and I covered it in the Switch News, but it's just a fake image, a fake box and a fake image of a manual.
Can I just say, I low-key love that render.
Yeah.
I actually really like the design. It's weird and quirky and a bit round and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's parts of this leak or imagination that I really like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that does it for me is the Joy-Cons.
Yes.
Because even though it's like a bit stupid looking, like the whole thing just looks a bit odd, but the Joy-Cons look as if they've got more ergonomics.
Yes.
So like they've kind of got Joy-Cons in the middle and then like these grips around them. And it looks like the Joy-Cons slide up and down inside these housings.
So you can move the joysticks to where it's comfortable.
Yeah, so it looks like there'd be like a latch on the back or something, or like a clicker, like a button where you could then move the Joy-Con to suit your hand style, which would be great for kids versus adults because, you know, the Joy-Cons themselves, they suck. Like that's why I always cover, you know, other alternatives, because for different people's hand sizes, they're just not comfortable.
No.
Like it's a great idea. I love the Switch. I love the Joy-Cons, but for long-term handheld play, it's not good. Yeah, it's not. You get cramp and everything.
They're too square.
Exactly. So these things, if these like weird little egg designed things actually have some proper grip behind it, and then the Joy-Con inside moves up and down, you could really tailor that to your own thumb angle.
The other thing that in this leaked render / imagination was that the screen part, the actual Switch part of it, had a big old chin bezel at the bottom. It
did have a big bezel, yeah.
And my first reaction was, that looks ugly.
Yes.
Because it's, rather than being rectangular now, it's kind of almost square.
Yeah.
And then I saw it's in
render.
the stand.
Yeah,
it's like, actually, that makes a lot of sense. So in this image now, you can see the Switch. You can see the whole screen whilst it's docked.
Yeah, because currently, when you dock the Switch,
no screen.
You can't see the screen because it's behind the lip, but also it turns it off.
Yes.
So if you could actually have that, you know, on, so that you could do handheld.
Yes.
Like, you know, tabletop mode whilst being docked, so you're not just running.
You no
off
longer
battery.
have to have that. Even the OLED's kickstand isn't great, but the original Switch kickstand was awful.
Oh, that was so.
The worst part of its
OLED
design.
was million times better than that.
But that's not even that great. It's still a flimsy bit of plastic.
Yeah. That's metal.
Is it metal?
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, it's metal.
Whatever. But having an actual stand makes a lot of sense. It makes it more like the kind of third-party stuff that you get for it.
But that would be cool if you could have the screen on, and it being docked.
Yes,
because I mean, you could even play with that if you could have that docked and on whilst you're playing on the TV.
Yeah,
maybe you could utilize it as a second screen, have like a map up or something. Do you know what I mean? Or like I don't know,
like a Wii U,
like a Wii U. Yeah, but you know, it could be cool. Like the idea is there. This has already been debunked. Like it's fake, but It's got some good concepts.
It's obviously fake because the game images on the box.
That's legit. It's
all like
showing
old
Wii U
games.
games on it.
Like Breath of the Wild.
But that's it's cool. Like I actually think they had some kind of good ideas, even though it was hilarious to look at and go, that's fake.
Yeah.
When you actually looked at it, and thought about it, there was some good concepts.
I wish we could go back in time and look at the rumors and leaks that led up to the Switch.
Yeah.
And how close they were.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I bet there was images of the Switch that came out and people were like,
well, I remember
ridiculous.
going all the way back to the DS. So we're talking early 2000s. And I used to buy every Nintendo magazine. And they used to have their own concept of what the DS would be. And they were very, very close. And even what they showed, Nintendo showed the DS off to be, looked nothing like what it ended up being.
Yeah, okay.
So when it was actually launched, didn't look anything like their original.
Yeah.
It was close, but it wasn't really the same.
Yeah.
So I would be intrigued by that as well, to be honest. But obviously it being also called the Nintendo Switch 2, they've never used a numerical system. It's not going to be that at all.
No, it's obviously going to be the Super Nintendo Switch.
It better be.
Obviously.
Yeah.
If it's not, I quit.
It's just going to be the new Nintendo Switch, like they did with the 3DS.
Do you know, I've got a feeling it's going to be that.
It probably will be, yeah.
It's going to be something stupid.
It's going to be something
Nintendo
ridiculous.
are so stupid always.
Yeah. But I mean, really...
I love them, don't get me wrong, but they always do weird, stupid things.
They do. But that's what I want to see for the Switch 2 or Pro. What are they going to implement? Because they've never done an incremental upgrade other than the 3DS to the new 3DS, but they still added an extra control stick nub on that. And yes, it was more powerful, but that was basically all the difference was, and more stable 3D. So that was the only minor incremental upgrade Nintendo have ever really done, really.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see what they do with the Switch Pro or 2, because they always add a gimmick, don't they?
Yes.
And I feel like they still will with this, whatever it might be. They won't surely just release the Pro like the PlayStation, Xbox, PCs, whatever. They all don't care. They're just like, here's a performance boost.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. But Nintendo have never really done that. It's always like, here's this new crazy thing. And I'm really intrigued to see if they break that trend, or if they don't break it, what it will be.
It's difficult. It's difficult to know. Everything is pointing at a 2024 release.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're halfway through 2023 now.
Well,
so
it's coming up to the end now, isn't it?
So the Switch originally released, it was
2017.
But it was springtime, wasn't it? It was announced.
I don't actually remember, because I didn't get mine until Christmas. So I waited, because I've said this before a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
I put a deposit down and I couldn't afford it when it got launched. So I lost my deposit and I had to wait the rest of the year until Christmas. And I didn't even know I was getting it for Christmas. Christina pulled it out at Christmas and I was like, oh my God, because I really wanted one. So there we go. So I don't remember when it was.
You could change the context of that story and it would just work just
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so it feels like it's going to be toward the end of 2024 release, which sits alongside the PS5 Pro. So will they be going head to head? Although, I mean, the audience is very different.
What if they collaborate like they originally intended?
PlayStation goes back to Nintendo.
Yeah.
With
So,
its tail between its
Microsoft's
legs.
buying everything.
Nintendo and
Sony-
PlayStation.
Yeah, because Sony keeps releasing like all this random lossless earbuds. And
Maybe, here's a tin hat for you.
stuff. Yeah.
The Project Q
Oh.
is actually the Switch 2.
The Project Wii U. And it becomes the Nintendo and Sony. What would they call it? The Nintendi? Or the Sonendo?
Sintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Sintendo.
What if that's the case?
Sontendo.
Because, like,
Yeah,
Nintendo
originally.
and PlayStation were actually going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And Nintendo pulled out, so Sony went, all right, we'll do it ourselves.
It's
And
supposed to be the
thus-
Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's what's going on here.
Heard it here first.
That's it. If it happens,
You got anything else to add to the Switch 2 rumours?
Not really, but
That's
when it comes out and buying it, regardless of how
we don't even need to ask you that. Stupid question.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's going to happen, isn't it? Like,
They could release toilet roll with
Yeah.
Nintendo written on it and a
Yeah.
battery, and you
Yeah.
go, yeah, sweet, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I
Sounds
would,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I probably would.
But you got to be part of Nintendo, whatever it's called, Switch Online,
Yes.
Club.
Yeah.
which I still pay my membership for, actually.
Probably.
I haven't even turned my Switch on for about a year. Just remembered.
Oh.
That's so I can get those exclusive controllers when they drop.
Yeah.
Which they haven't done for ages.
No.
Anyway, if you've got to the deep end with us, make sure that you do all the things on YouTube.
it.
There's those
Yeah.
buttons.
Watch
press
these
them.
videos.
If you're on Spotify or Apple iTunes or whatever, make sure you rate the podcast because it does massively help us out in what we do here.
And we love it.
Yes. And hopefully there'll be some more popular demand, but this time next week. But I doubt it.
Yeah. Maybe. Possibly. Hopefully.
So I guess that's about it. So until the next time,
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Bye.